Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out. Pleasure to be in the company of Nova Sports. Napa, how's life treating you?
Okay. Yeah, life is good, my bro. Just got back from Libya and then Egypt, Saudi. Boxing takes all over the world. So, yeah, I feel great.
And boxing is non-stop as well too. And you've got another fighter coming out this weekend. Let's just rewind quickly though to Jerome Pamplon. Obviously not the result that he wanted, but how is Jerome's spirits off of the back of that defeat?
He's cool. I mean, look, 3-week notice, WBA interim no title fight, a career high purse, like 4 or 5 times more than he's already been paid. It's an opportunity he had to take. Well, not had to take, but he's a champion at heart and wanted to take it. It was his 3rd world title eliminator, and he's been just that close 3 times now. So he'll regroup. If you look at all the 175 guys in the UK, he was one of the youngest. I think him and Ezra Taylor. He just turned 29. So, he's got a long way to go. Well, Dan Aziz is like 35 or something like that. So Jerome's cool. He hasn't taken crazy punishment in his career. Very good fighter. We'll regroup, come again. And, yeah, you'll see him fighting in the UK soon.
Both Nova and Pamplon, obviously, on short notice, replacement opponents for the original opponent. Have you found that's just the way of the land when it comes to some of your fighters getting opportunities? And are they ever hesitant to take those opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of fighters are coming to me because they know that I have good contacts in the boxing game. So, and these contacts means I do get asked sometimes when people fall out or opportunities come up last minute. So it does work out. So yeah, some fighters, look, 1 minute I'm on the phone or in meetings with Eubank Jr, where everything is a lot different to conversations with other fighters. But I enjoy this. I don't feel like I'm at work when I'm working in boxing. I enjoy bringing opportunities to fighters that could potentially change their life. Jerome is a husband, father, gets a massive payday, goes back to New Zealand, can have a great end of the year, fantastic Christmas. So, you also have to make sure that you're delivering opportunities and helping the fighters earn money so that they can have a good living. Many fighters that want to take certain fights, but not making enough money to prepare. Sparring partners ain't free. And flying them in is not free. They need to be in the gym, pay your rent, look after the family, provide for your family. It's not easy if you're not getting them fights. So yeah, some of the fighters, it's a bit difficult. Other fighters, it's not. So I enjoy it either way. I've got Mauro Silva, who's a young prospect. It's a lot different with him. I enjoy boxing all different levels.
I was a regular listener to Hardcore Boxing podcast, Boxing Asylum, that is Nuthouse podcast, and they were discussing the fight coming up between Ray Ford and Abraham Nova, and they're saying, look, Abraham Nova is no mug and is very much live in the fight with Ray Ford, but does the short notice hamper his prospects in the fight?
Look, no one ideally wants a 3-week camp. But it's a massive opportunity for him. He's been very unfortunate with the world title fight that he had against Ashaki Foster. The knockdown in the last round was a bit iffy. If he won that round, he would have won the fight. And then he had a fight with Andre Cortez. I think I'm saying his name correct, which I think he clearly won and they didn't give him the decision. So he feels like he could be champion right now. He feels like he's supposed to be at this level. This is the level that he's at. Raymond Ford just come up from 126. So he hasn't fought anyone as big and strong as Abraham as of yet. So we're going to see if Abraham comes to fight, it puts the heat on you. Right. Raymond Ford is no mark. He's very skillful fighter, sharp, fast. We're not thinking this is an easy task, but we took the fight and could believe we're up to the task.
The big talking point when it comes to yourself is, of course, the rematch that's happening between Eubank Jr and Conor Benn. Speaking amongst some of my media peers, were saying, look, no announcement is real until we've seen like Chris and the team kind of retweet and put that out, and that has been the case now. But what can you say about the process of getting the rematch signed and getting it delivered?
Look, a lot of these fights, big fights, it's not straightforward to make it happen. We still ain't seen AJ Fury, even though it did get announced one time. You know, there was a lot of obstacles and things we had to get over for this fight. No point going into the details because I'm not a man who ideally wants to be negative or anything. At the end of the day, the fight is here now. Happy that Conor agreed to the new date. Chris is ready to go. He's already training. He's been in the gym with him last week. He's trying to push the same weights as me. He's fiery. He's ready for this. And, you know, it's the same weight, same clause as last time. Everyone says Conor Benn is the future, this and that and whatnot. So when Chris gets this victory, he should get the plaudits.
Plaudits, yeah.
Yeah. And should, and needs to get the credit for this. First, this will be the second time. We'll take him better this time.
When the original or the original rematch discussions seem to be falling to the wayside, there was talk from, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but it was essentially the words of that Conor Benn and his team felt that your side, specifically Eubank Jr, were scared of the opportunity to take on Conor Benn for the second time. What was really kind of going on behind the scenes? Because no fighter really truly is scared about taking an opportunity to step into the ring.
The only person who's scared is them not wanting to fight Chris without rehydration. Them not wanting to do the fight at 162, 164, 165. They don't want to do that. Why? Because his team have Conor's best interests and they believe it's an unfair fight with those terms. No one's scared. We won the fight. Chris threw over 100 punches in every round, rounds 10, 11, and 12. Who's scared? Dehydrated. No one's scared. As I said, this is a massive fight. A lot of things needed to be sorted out and ironed out before we agreed for it to make sense. And now it makes sense.
I spoke to Frank Smith recently, and I asked him as to whether any discussions had taken place surrounding any movement on the weight and the rehydration, and they said that no discussions have taken place. Is that a discussion that will take place, or is it completely set now that it will be under those same terms, or there's a possibility that can be facilitated, that things can be changed?
Listen, as I said, you know, Eddie Hearn told me there is no way this fight's going forward on any different type of tonight, because he has a fighter that he wants after to go on and fight Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero, or whatnot. So he's trying to protect him. When Chris does the job, they can have no excuses. And as I said, Chris needs to get the credit. Beating this guy twice. And Chris is a guy that's been in the ring with Liam Smith twice. It's going to be Conor Benn twice. James DeGay. George Groves. He's been in the ring with most of the guys in and around his weight in his era. He's done a lot. He needs to start getting the credit and not just, you know, he just fights for money, you know, he's just living off father's name. No. Chris is a guy that does fights that the public want to see. Sometimes in terms, ideally, not how he wants. But because he knows it's a fight the public going to see, again, he'll do what it takes to do the fight. And we get the victory, and he needs his credit on that.
Is there a danger that the public might turn against him to some degree because he's accepting those terms which caused him the problems that he had post-fight, where he said he was severely dehydrated and his father said he was touch and go. Now at this point juncture, he's experienced it and now he's accepting those terms again. Is there a possibility that the tide of favor towards and goodwill towards Eubank Jr might turn against him because he's accepted the same terms?
There's a few things on camp that are going to tweak. It should be fine.
Okay. So to follow up with that, are you concerned about Eubank Jr in this fight, considering what he had to go through the first time around?
Concerned in terms of what? In terms of the opponent or in terms of the weight?
Weight, aftermath. Not exactly the opponent. Obviously, you go into the fight confident and things, but in terms of what could happen to him afterwards because of what happened to him the first time.
What's going to happen after the fight is Chris is going to raise his hand, and the public are going to give him the credit for getting the victory again. And we're going to move into another big fight. We're ready to go. All is well.
Has any conversation happened with Eubank Sr, who's obviously vehement about the fight the first time around? He did end up in the corner, and there was a beautiful scene to see him there, but he also kind of said he wanted to see his son sail off into the sunset. Any conversations happened with his father?
They're in communication. I know Senior wants Chris to move up to 168. I haven't spoke to Senior personally. I spoke to him quite a bit when the night of the fight, and saw him in the hospital. But yeah, them two are in communication. All is well with the two of them. So I'm not sure. I actually haven't asked for the details of what they're going back and forth about. But you know, Senior's letting Chris direct his career, and listen, that's his father, it's his son. So of course he's going to be looking out for the best interest for his son. So it's normal, it's natural. He's doing the correct thing. And Senior himself went from super middleweight and took on Thompson at cruiserweight. You know, he's a Eubank. This is the type of people they are. They are cut from the cloth that not many are today. And then, yeah.
Was there any consideration about potentially retiring? Because it's a brilliant way to leave the sport. I understand that there's money on the table. Was ever that conversation had?
No, Eddie Hearn said that. That never come from us.
Eubank Sr said it.
Oh yeah. Listen, that's his dad. You know, his dad. Senior said many things. Me myself, there's loads of stuff that Senior's told me and whatnot that I've taken on board and taken to my career as a boxer manager. You know, Chris is one of my best friends. We've been friends for over 13, 14 years. Anything his dad says about his son, I'm not here to start saying, oh, you shouldn't say that, or you shouldn't say that. This is his dad. His dad's allowed to have any opinion about his son. If he says, my son should retire, or my son should go 168, fine, this is your son. I'm not here to tell you you're saying the right or wrong thing. You know, my parents, my mum, wherever I travel, oh, be safe, be careful. She doesn't look at me as a 6'5", 20 stone strong. Nah, it's just overprotective. Be careful when I post on Instagram, me leg pressing, like 500 kilos, just commenting, stop, it's too heavy. Like, it's normal, you know? You don't need to do this, you know, you already look fine. Stop lifting this heavy weights. It's a parent. So, I don't expect Senior to, say anything different.
I think when people from the outside looking in look at the fight, first fight was an amazing spectacle with all the pre-fight build-up. The second fight, well, I imagine aim to live up to that. The potential of a third, of course, it would have to go Conor Benn's way. But is that written, or has that been discussed about this being a trilogy? Has there been any discussion about there being a rematch clause in this second part of the fight?
Conor Benn ain't winning and we're not fighting him the third time after beating him twice. I think you're moving into other stuff.
Canelo Alvarez is someone who's looking for an opponent in the UK, and it seems like Chris Eubank Jr. and also Hamza Shiraz are in the running if Canelo does ever visit the UK for a fight. Why do you feel that Eubank Jr. is placed above anyone else to get that opportunity?
In terms of Chris or Hamza, I mean, Chris is on another level in terms of popularity to Hamza. It's not comparable. Chris gets more comments, no more likes on a post than Hamza has followed. Hamza's doing really well. Very interested in his fight with Edgar Berlanga. But if Canelo wants to have a fight with a grip and fill the stadium and get the casuals locked in, because they're the ones that drive the numbers. There's no hardcore boxing fight that's going to do crazy numbers. I've just seen Billy's going to fight Lester Martinez. I'm a hardcore fan. That's a wicked fight. That's no casuals are going to, leave work early to go out and watch that. But hardcores are going to love that. When Canelo comes to the UK, we want everyone to come out. And for everyone to come out, their opponents, Chris Eubank Jr. But Hamza Shiraz, keep doing what you're doing well, my boy.
That first fight, going back to that, it had so much momentum because of the backstory and everything that was adding on to it. Do you believe it will carry the same momentum into the second fight, given that we've seen the reuniting of the son and the father? Or do you think it will be maybe a bit more promotionally difficult? Still a big fight, but not quite as high as the first.
Even if Cena didn't come that far, the arena was really sold out. It had all of the press and all of the hype was still done. Senior coming was an addition to what was already said. This is still the best fight I've seen in the UK in the last decade, maybe this century. They're going to run it back again. Outside of AJ versus Fury, I can't think of another two Brits. However you want to mix it up, that fight will be bigger than a Eubank Benn. Can't. Dubois, AJ, no. Fury, Dubois, no. There's no other mix that's better or bigger. Bigger than Eubank Benn. It's a massive fight. And for, these type of fights are the fights that, young kids are going to watch and then say, I want to be a boxer too. After nights like this gets, again, the casuals behind it grows the stool. And, this is why I'm making it happen again.
Last one on this, in terms of the technical side of things, I believe it was on IFL. I saw Eddie Hearn and I think Frank Smith as well speaking to me, talking about Ben Shalom's involvement and Boxer's involvement in the fight alongside Chris Eubank Jr. Can you clarify what the situation is going into that rematch with Ben Shalom and Boxer and Chris Eubank?
Chris Eubank Jr. is in the partnership with Boxer and they'll be involved.
And in terms of the actual fight, what do you think happens second time around? I know obviously you'll back your man, but whatever trick either fighter was able to put, they've now had the experience of the 12 rounds with each other. What's your expectation of Chris in terms of handling Conor Benn?
He'll do much better next time. Much better next time. A lot of things happened in the first fight, but we still went on with it because we didn't want to let the public down. But next time out, you're going to see there's levels to the game and Chris is at the top floor.
Mm-hmm. Another thing is just coming to mind about the British Boxing Border Control's fine. Let's talk about maybe that could maybe not resolve the fight happening. And what's the status with that fine that Chris Eubank Jr. received from the British Boxing Border Control?
No, it's not been an effective fight.
Okay, Napa, you've got a number of other fighters, not just Chris Eubank Jr. to discuss as well. Just run me through your fighters and the latest updates with them.
So, next week I have a heavyweight Jerome Pamplon. He's based out of Las Vegas. He's fighting.
Spoke to Jeremiah.
Yeah, he's fighting, Eubank Jr.
Okay.
Another opportunity I find for a fighter. So, Eubank Jr, ex-world cruiserweight champion. Ranked in the WBA top 15, I think. So it's an opportunity for Jeremiah. He's been in around the gyms, sparred loads of guys. He's been wanting the opportunity to show what he can do. Here it is. Hopefully he can pull it off and, once you can get him in the top 15 world ranking, we can really get him in the mix of some good fights over here in the UK. Then after that, I think I've got next, Renee Tellez-Duran is fighting Jordan White and Pro Belts. September 5th, and Troy Williamson is fighting Mark Dickinson. September 6th, I need to figure out a way to get from Russia to Newcastle in 12 to 18 hours. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to try. And then Brandon Glanton is having a fight in Africa with Undercurrent Promotions. I can't say the opponent, but is British ex-world champion. So it'd be a good fight too.
Looking forward to it, Napa. Much appreciated time and filled in my questions. Thanks for taking us out. Looking forward to your fighters back in action and of course as well, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn too.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
Big up.